Well, it's not baseball season without a New York Mets star going down with an injury to start spring camp. Yes, the undoubtable Mets ace, Kodai Senga, has suffered a shoulder sprain that will force him to land on the injured list, missing opening day, according to David Stearns, the team's president of baseball operations. Now, despite Stearns not giving a timetable for Senga's return, he said surgery will not be required for the righty. Now, Stearns still expressed Senga will make many starts for the Mets in 2024. An MRI taken on Wednesday revealed a moderate right posterior capsule strain for Senga. The Mets intend to shut him down from throwing until his symptoms subside and his strength returns to normal levels. Here's what Senga himself had to say on the injury news. He said, quote, "It is regretful that I am not able to be a part of it in the beginning of the season. I think I just have to be positive and look forward to being back out there with the team," end quote. Now, with this injury, the rest of the Mets staff will have to step up. Guys like Quintana, Severino, they're going to have to, really be throwing BBs out of the gates here for the New York Mets in the first month or two of the season if the Mets want to stay in contention early on. That's kind of how it works with the Mets. Injury bug plagues them during spring training. Coming into camp, they look good. They got all these stars, all these frontline starters, great position players for the most part. The bullpen's iffy, but now with, Edwin Diaz back, that's a great sign. But it's always the same story with the Mets. They come into camp like a perennial playoff World Series type of contending team. And then the absolute minute, the calendar turns to March and April, injuries happen. And it's not just like the reserves who go down. It's the star guys. It's Senga. I mean, it's not like Tyler McGill got hurt, who wasn't great last season. It's the star guys. It's the guys who the Mets rely on the most and are the most important and the most valuable for the team, which really sucks for the Metropolitans. Now, unless, of course, Senga's injury could force Steve Cohen's hand to go out there and sign a guy like Blake Snell. And this scenario could very well happen in the near future, but right now, hey, he's hurt. I would guess I'd go out there and get a guy like Blake Snell if I were Steve Cohen, or Jordan Montgomery right now, which we'll get to in a minute. That's the only plan B they have in their pocket right now, I think, for the Mets. Thank God they have an owner who's, willing to spend money willy-nilly, not always smart, but willy-nilly in these situations. That's when money really helps an organization to go out there and fix holes that have been there or that pop up unexpectedly, like this injury with Kodai Senga. Now let's recap our first game of the 2024 campaign as the Dodgers and the Padres officially started off spring action. The Dodgers scored runs in pairs all day long yesterday out in Peoria, Arizona, the home of the San Diego Padres and Seattle Mariners. Now, Teoscar Hernandez, he had a ground rule double. That scored Mookie Betts and Chris Taylor in the first. Then, just 3 batters later, Chris Owings smacked a ground rule double. Outman and Hernandez scored on the play. Next man up, Andy Pages. He lined a ball to right field, sending Lux and Owing across. Then LA put the Padres to sleep after a 2-run home run by Kevin Paldo. It was 8-0 after just a half inning of play. That game, I was watching it yesterday. It was crazy. Joe Musgrove just got lit up like a Christmas tree in his first outing. He was unable to record a single solitary out. That's not the way you want to start spring training. Montgomery, he was responsible for relinquishing 4 of the 8 runs LA scored in the first inning. That was not good. Now, San Diego did avoid the shutout as Jake Cronenworth shot a ball into the right center field berm to make it 8-1 LA after 4 innings. But LA, they continued to make the scoreboard operator work as they added 6 more runs, thanks in part to Drew Avens' single and a Cody Hess double. The Dodgers won the ball game by the score of 14-1. Now the Tigers, they signed free agent third baseman Gio Urshela to a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. The Tigers were in desperate need of a third baseman last season. I mean, Matt Verling, he manned the position most of the season, but Urshela, he's also pretty versatile, as he's able to play both middle infield positions. The Tigers now have the ability to give Javier Baez a break, which they did not do all season despite him needing some heavily throughout the 162 marathon season. I mean, he sucked offensively, but they did not take him out of the lineup, right? It will give the rookie Colton Keith a break at second base, who just signed an extension and is expected to start the season with the Tigers on opening day. Now, his career as a .277 hitter, has 64 home runs, 280 RBIs in over 660 games between Cleveland, Toronto, the Yankees, and the Twinkies. So I'm happy with the move. I'm satisfied. I'm not going to be surprised if they move Gio Urshela come deadline, if they're not in contention and he's doing above average to really well. If that does happen, they have a guy to take his place in Jace Jung. He's a third baseman, brother of the other Jung on Texas Rangers. So they have his brother down there at the farm right now. I would like for them to go out and get Matt Chapman. I thought that could have been a good option too, but obviously his asking price is really, really high, probably for too many years, and they probably banking on Jung to be their everyday third baseman in the soon to near future. Jordan Montgomery, he might be heading to the Boston Red Sox, according to multiple sources. The Red Sox are among a handful of teams linked to Mr. Montgomery, and according to Rob Bradford of WEEI, Boston is prioritizing the veteran left-hander over other free agents. Bradford, he noted that the Sox are also awaiting Montgomery's asking price to drop significantly. Also, John Heyman of MLB Network thinks the left-hander will probably end up with one of these four teams: the Cubs, the Red Sox, the Giants, or the Angels. Now here's what John Heyman had to say about the Jordan Montgomery free agency.
Montgomery, I mean, the Red Sox were definitely talking to Montgomery about 2 weeks ago, and that did seem to be a consideration, but there has been no movement on that since then. And I'm here in Miami. Montgomery is working out back somewhere back there, a little bit south of me and a little bit west, and working out and waiting patiently. And we will talk about how patient these guys are going to be on the timetable issue. But right now, Montgomery, Red Sox, Cubs, again, the Giants, Angels, if they get going more.
Last season, between St. Louis and Texas, Montgomery, he posted a 3.20 ERA, had a really good whip at just over 1.1, had a pretty nice FIP as well, right below 4 for the season, so really good stuff out of Montgomery. He improved when he went to Texas at the trade deadline. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Montgomery goes to Boston, considering the Sox haven't made considerable moves all season long. A move like this will silence fans who are irritated with the organization's lack of moves this offseason. Frankly, they haven't been active at all. From Montgomery's standpoint, I don't think he'll mind Boston. He already won a ring, right? So that's kind of not a big top priority for him. Maybe, I don't know, I'm speculating. But his wife is currently in residency at Boston Hospital. That could play a big factor as well. However, out of the teams that John Heyman mentioned, I think the Cubs give him the best chance of winning a championship, and they would probably match Boston's offer if it came down to it. I really do believe that the Cubs want to win. They signed Swanson, obviously Suzuki, right? Seiya Suzuki. So the Cubs are in it to win it, and getting Montgomery would be another step in that direction for the organization. And that's all I got. Please like, please comment, subscribe. And as always, I will catch you guys later.